All right, welcome back to Velshi and Rule. Right now, President Trump is getting ready to deliver his second State of the Union address, but to a much different House chamber than last year. For one thing, he's going to have Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sitting right behind him.
A House divided. The White House says he has been busy with his Sharpie making final edits and will be hailing the, quote, booming economy. This weekend, he called it, quote, maybe the best economy we have ever had in the history of our country. Now, we'll be the first to celebrate the very strong economy that we do have. But we will be right here telling you right now, as we do every day, he's lying. This is not the best economy in U.S. history. So our question to the president is, why lie?
It's a push-pull economy that's good on some levels, and there are other things that are problematic. This is good. There were 304,000 net new jobs created in January. By any standard, that's good. That number may get adjusted, but the point is, even if it were 150 or 200,000, we'd probably say it's good. It's on the right side. It's 100 straight months of job growth.
Okay, but that's what you have to stick with, 100 straight months.
Right.
To the best of my knowledge, 2 years in office does not make 100 months. So the president likes to say he turned the economy around and he ignited it.
No, he didn't wreck it.
He didn't.
He didn't wreck it. There were jobs growing for 100 months, and they continue to grow under him.
And they grew at a faster pace. Listen, he's a tremendous salesman when it comes to the economy. Deregulation has been a positive for businesses. And the fact that he has been so clear that he's pro-business, that was a positive for small businesses and big businesses going out there and hiring.
He's going to tout this.
Turnaround? No.
2018 saw 2.7 million net new jobs created. Pretty good. We've seen that number, I think, most recently in 2015. So he's going to tell you it's better than ever before. It was actually that good under Obama. But this he'll talk about, and we're happy that jobs are being created. But this is really where the rubber hits the road, right? Wages. People don't care if there are more jobs. They want to know, are their wages going up in January?
We've got ample jobs in this country.
Correct.
The president talks out of both sides of his mouth. He says Mexicans, they're stealing all the good jobs, while at the same time, we have lots of good open ones.
Yes.
We have lots of open jobs. We don't have jobs that pay people enough money to support
or give them the benefits or whatever the case is. So we've seen a 3.2% increase in wages. Again, when you adjust for inflation, it's less than that. But that, seeing a number with a 3 in front of it's pretty good. This is the largest increase since 2008. So
and
we'll talk about
this. We have hit the right moment in the cycle, because that's what has been lagging. And the fact that there's a catch-up, that is a big positive.
This is industrial production. This is actually one that I really like. When you are on the highway and you see more trucks driving, or you live at Newark or Long Beach or places like that, or Houston, and you see a lot more trucking activity, or you see smokestacks and things being built, this is the measure of everything that we produce in America. And that was up 4% in December annually, which means compared to December before that. That's the biggest increase in output since 2014. Again, I remind you, Barack Obama was in office in 2014, so this has been done before, but that's good.
This was a campaign promise for the president. He was saying, I am putting you back to work. Manufacturing is coming back in the United States, and you're seeing this delivered. Because even if it was in messaging, if you talk to people during the Obama administration, Fortune 500 CEOs, they would say, we did not feel like President Obama was business friendly. He was friendly to new tech, and new tech isn't hiring manufacturing.
But I still will remind you that in 2014, Obama did have a better number than this. So the issue we've got is not that it's bad, it's that Donald Trump will keep on telling you no one's ever done it since him. Okay, here's the problem. The stock market was down 6.2% in 2018. That's a baddie. That's the biggest annual decline since 2008. A baddie? Yeah.
That's a baddie.
Don't be sassy.
Ali just told you.
2008. Remember what happened in 2008? We had a recession. That's the worst stock market performance since that. We've had a good January since then, but really a lot of this, remember the first 8 months, 9 months, 10 months of 2018 were pretty good. And then the trade war stuff started kicking in, and the bad stuff with China, and the fight with the Federal Reserve.
And remember, the president has said over and over, look at your 401ks, look what I'm delivering for you. Well, think about this. You had record tax cuts, massive buybacks. That's what companies did once they got the tax cut, and still the stock market went down.
Here's your tax cuts, okay? Corporate buyback. What you said this probably every day. I think I must have told you in commercial breaks. You say it all the time. You don't need to keep on saying it.
You see, he's like what he says to me in the commercial break.
What's going to happen?
What I say on television.
What Stephanie said was going to happen is what happened. You give companies all this money back. The argument was it was going to raise wages by $4,000 a household. You told everybody this is going to happen.
And listen, I am not not saying that stock buybacks are a bad thing.
They're not inherently bad. They actually make your 401k go up as well.
If you are the CEO of a company, you make a decision. I've got this cash on hand. Where's the best place for me to deploy it? The answer might be for you, well, it's stock buybacks. That's what I want to do. The problem is the government gave this massive tax cut to corporate America, and they told us corporate America is going to spend this money investing, hiring.
Plants, more people, higher wages.
Increasing wages, and that's not what they did.
You said day after day it's going to be buybacks, and that's where it is. $1 trillion went into buybacks. I want to just point out one more. Oh, here we go. Home sales. Down 10% in December compared to last year. There are a couple reasons for this, but interest rates have been going up after something that's been expected for a long time, and that makes it less attractive to buy a house. We are also seeing people putting their houses on the market because of the state and local taxes that came in from the tax cuts, and we've got a slowing economy, or talk about a slowing economy. So that's the push-pull. You see a strong stock market in January, but if you're trying to sell your house, this is a problem. If you're buying a house, it's becoming a very good market.
Now, the president had made the argument he sees GDP under his administration above 3%. He thinks it could be 4, 5, 6%. That is not what we're seeing. But what we're really seeing is an exaggeration of Obama's economy, which, as we could say all day long, was good, but it left out a huge chunk of this country. The economy that President Trump has delivered is that same economy. Even more exaggerated.
That's right. The same problems that existed there, the inequality has grown. I will give this to President Trump. It's not just happening in America.
Without a doubt.
Inequality is growing all over. So, again, we just want to put it in perspective. It's not a bad economy. It's not the best economy. It's a push-pull economy.
Historically speaking, but around the world, especially when you factor in the global slowdown, the United States does look very good compared to other countries. But if the president says to you tonight, I have delivered a great economy, such a turnaround for all the American people, we're here to tell you it's not serving all the American people.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.